Flosstube, it's Lorraine with Rags to Stitches USA. Today is Saturday, December 14th, and it is a little chilly outside and damp. We had rain all night last night. I am congested with a cold, and I am on my way to an outdoor wedding. I love this girl to death that's getting married. She and I have been on mission trips together, and she's a sweet, sweet girl, and she's marrying. It seems to be a wonderful man that she met on a mission trip, so it's going to be a sweet wedding, but it's outside, and I have a cold, and I don't like the cold, so I'm going to go bundled up, and hopefully I won't be sneezing and blowing and hacking my way through the wedding. My son is home for Christmas break, and so he's going to help me edit this video, I hope. I haven't asked him yet, but he's usually really good about that. So if you see lots of cuts in this video, it's probably because I had a coughing fit or I had to blow my nose or something. So anyway, I'll try not to bother y'all too much with all this head gunk. So anyway, it has been a minute since I did my last video. I think, I didn't go back and look, but I think my last one may have been in September, maybe. I have been working. I've been stitching. I just haven't stopped long enough to make a video. And we traveled a little bit in October, and then in November, I was busy with things for work, and then for Thanksgiving, and the holidays are upon us, and yada yada. Y'all know the drill. And the holidays have been a little emotional for me this year. As y'all know, I lost my mom a year and a half ago, so this is not my first set of holidays without my mom. It's my second, and I thought it would be easier, but it's really not. It's not easier the second year. I understand it will get easier, and I know it will. And maybe it's because she lived with me, but it's been a little bit of a challenge. So I bring all that up to say, if you know people that are going through the holidays without a loved one for the first, second, third time, just reach out, give them a little extra hug. Let them know that it's going to be a little harder for them this year. We've got many, many blessings. I'm very thankful God brought us a granddaughter last year, and we're excited to be celebrating Christmas with her again this year. Last year she was just a month old at Christmas, so she didn't know much about it, but this year should be pretty fun. So anyway, enough about that. Let me show you some of the things that I've been doing. One of the things that I did since my last video, I went on a retreat. I went to Cindy's retreat in Knoxville, Tennessee. So much fun. She's such a sweet girl, and the people there were wonderful. We all just meshed together so well and had a great time together. So I started and finished a project while I was there, and I know y'all have seen this because I think this was a retreat thing that other people did at another retreat, and I can't think of which one that was, but I didn't know that was going to be their thing. But anyway, I picked this up, this pattern I picked up at Market, no, not Market, at Needlework Galleria. Not this past September, but the September before, 2018. I picked this up. And this is by Noteworthy Needle. Here we go. Let's see. There we go. And so the gal at Noteworthy Needle had said if you would bring a pumpkin and purchase the pattern, that she would drill all the holes at Needlework Galleria. Well, God bless her. I don't think she expected the response that she got, because that poor thing stayed up all night long, and I think she even called in some reinforcements, and they all stayed up all night long drilling these little holes. But I just love the way it turned out. And you just stick your hand down in there and do the stitching. But it's just cute as it can be. I just love it. The challenging part was tying off your threads, because you're working on a curved surface, so sticking that needle in there was a little bit of a challenge. But I love it. This sat out all fall and Thanksgiving at my house, and it's been waiting to be put up until I made this video, so now I can put this away. I have a piece of furniture behind me. This is normally where our Christmas tree is this year. So we move it in the dining room just for the holidays. Okay, so that's the first thing. This was Noteworthy Needle BYOP. Bring your own pumpkin, I guess. And this was chart number 3, stack number 3. She had others with different things on it, but I liked this one. So that one was fun. All right, another thing that I worked on was a gift for an exchange at work. And I've already given that exchange away, that gift away. That was for Mary, Sweet Mary, at work. And it was a Primitive Merry Christmas pillow by Abby Rose Designs. And I am going to insert the video here that I made before I gave it to her. So, hey friends. You're probably already watching my video, so I'm going to insert this in here. I'm about to leave to go to my work Christmas party, Christmas dinner, and we exchanged names, and I wanted to show the gift that I got for one of my coworkers, for Sweet Mary. So this is Primitive Merry Christmas by Abby Rose Designs, and I love it. Isn't it sweet? Well, I didn't prepare this very well. Here we go. I just love that. So I made this, it's not the called for fabric. It's pretty close, but I couldn't get the called for fabric. I can't remember now what it called, brash. It called for Picture This Plus brash. And it was out of stock everywhere that I looked. So I got some fabric from Dames of the Needle, and I can't think of what that's called, but by the time I make this actual video, I'll look that up and I'll be able to tell you. But and then I bought some fabric for the back, and then when I went to finish it, couldn't find the fabric that I bought. So I just used some fabric from my stash. It's not Christmassy, but I think it goes well with the feel of the piece and with the colors. So that's my little exchange for Mary. I'm going to also give her this little ornament stand so that she can, because it's a little bit too big, I think, for an ornament for the tree. Maybe not. So she can put it on the tree if she wants to, or she can display it on this little ornament stand. So that's my little gift that I'll be giving away. Wasn't that cute? I loved it. I want to make one for me now. I used a fabric that I had gotten from Dames of the Needle called Aged Saffron. The called for fabric, which was I forget. I think I told what that was in the video, but this is very similar to that. I keep looking out the window because I'm expecting my son to come up any minute now, and I'll have to pause this. But anyway, I think it worked out to be a good substitute for that pillow. And then the ribbon that I used, I just bought some ribbon from Hobby Lobby, and it was a little bit bright, I thought, for the pillow, so I decided to coffee dye it, but I was in too big of a hurry. I just pretty much coffee dunked it. I didn't leave it for long enough. So there was a little bit of a change, not much. I think had I left it a little bit longer, so you can't even really tell in the video much difference at all, but it did age it just a little bit, gave it a little bit of variegation. I don't know that you're going to be able to see that, but when I do it again, I will dunk it and leave it a little bit longer. So anyway, that one was a fun one. I do want to do one of those for me because I like it. And it didn't take long to stitch that up. It is a lot of full coverage there that it took a little longer than I thought it would, but anyway, it still didn't take very long. At this exchange party, it was our work Christmas dinner, I received a gift that I wanted to show you, and it's, I don't know what the pattern is. Janet gave this to me, but it's a punch needle, and as y'all know, or you may not, but I am a beekeeper, and so she made this adorable punch needle pillow for me. I just love it, and that is punched in, but these are little pins with little bee toppers. So I just love it, love it, love it, love it. So thank you, Janet. I love it. Our shop owner gave each of us a bracelet that she had gone to Pine Mountain, Georgia, for a weekend getaway, and she saw a local artisan there that made these bracelets out of aluminum measuring tapes. Oh, I don't know if you're going to be able to really, I don't know. It's a cuff bracelet, just made out of an aluminum measuring tape, and I just love it. I think it's adorable, and so I wear this a lot at work. So that was fun. So thank you, Matha, for that. Okay, another gift that I'm going to be giving away. You know what? I may put this in a separate video because I may decide to download this video before I give this gift away. So in case I do, I'll put that on a separate video. Yeah, and I'll probably, if I don't do it on this video, I'll just put it on the, if I decide to go ahead and download this, I'll just insert that video on my next one, whenever that will be. I'm going to try, really next year, I'm going to try to do a lot better about posting videos a lot more often than what I have this year. Hi again. It's been a few days since I filmed the first part of this video. Unfortunately, my cold got a little bit worse before it got a little bit better, so I'm going to film this last little bit. I'm going to be giving my gift away soon, and I wanted to show it on this video before it's gone. So I stitched for a friend of mine a chart called Friends of the Mill Sampler. It's by Chessie and me, and this is the chart, Friends of the Mill Sampler by Chessie and me. In case you can't read the verse, it says, "Good friends are hard to find, harder to leave, and impossible to forget." And I loved the sentiment on that. So I stitched this up for my friend, and I really think it's sweet. I had the frame made because it didn't fit any standard frame. So I had the frame made, and then I stretched it and mounted it, I laced it on foam core myself. And so I loved doing this one. This one has a lot of specialty stitches. I don't know if I'll be able to do it up close enough. The outside border is done in the four-sided stitch. Can I get that up close enough for you to see? I think I can. So that's with the four-sided stitch. I think that's the only time I used the four-sided stitch. There are, I guess I should tell you what I stitched this on. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to shake the camera. It is stitched on 32 count vintage Meadow Rue, which was a dream. I loved stitching on this fabric. And I loved it because I used one strand. That's what the pattern called for. One strand of floss. And I prefer using one strand of floss because I don't like to railroad. And now that I know about railroading, I feel like I have to. So I love stitching with one strand of floss. So there are other specialty stitches in here.
The satin stitch is used on the roof, and I did use 2 strands on that. It still looks sparse, but it looks prim to me, so I still like it. I think that may be the only place I used. No, on the steps, I think I used satin stitch. And let's see. The stars on the flag are Smyrna crosses. I don't think I'm going to be able to get close enough for you to see it. Anyway, the stars are Smyrna crosses. The wheel, the mill wheel is Smyrna crosses. I just don't think I'm going to be able. The door is eyelet stitches. There's a rice stitch. Where was the rice stitch? The grass. The row of grass is rice stitch. Anyway, I don't know that y'all will be able to tell. Let's see, what all does it say? I'm looking at my handy dandy little chart here. The cross stitch, the rice stitch, the satin stitch, 4-sided stitch, and the eyelet. That may be all that I used. So anyway, that is my little gift to my Friends of the Mill Sampler by Chessie and me. It was fun, and I enjoyed it, and I hope my friend does too.
Excuse me. Okay. I had another finish. I mean, I cranked out some finishes this last part of the year. I think I've shown y'all several times that I was working on a chart from Susan Richardson that Needlework Press has distributed called, I call it the Diligent Sampler, and all I have is my working copy right here. In all things be exceedingly diligent. But I got that finished and framed, so it is a fully finished, ready to hang that baby up project, and I'm very excited about that. I don't know if I'll be able to get all of this in here or not. Well, I've got lots of lights going on here. Maybe that's good enough. I love it. I love it because my friend Susan designed it. I love it. I love the colors in it. I love the sentiment. I love the fact that it's a horizontal sampler and not a vertical sampler. I don't have a lot of horizontal samplers. So I just love this for lots and lots and lots of reasons. So I'll try to get a little bit closer, but I think y'all have all seen this many times. I can't see what I'm doing here, so there we go. I love this. I am not sure where I'm going to start hanging some of these samplers. I would love to do a sampler wall, but the way our house is set up, I don't have a lot of walls to do a sampler wall with. We have a very open concept. The kitchen, we have a huge living area that actually has 2 separate living spaces in it. But all the kitchen and eating kitchen and all the living space, all that's open. So I don't have walls in there at all. And then there's like the fireplace wall, and then there's the entertainment center wall, and the front windows, we have windows all the way across the front of our house. So there really aren't any walls except the wall going down the stairs. And so I thought about that. I don't know, but I am beginning to accumulate a few samplers. Now I love that. I've always wanted to have a sampler wall, so I don't know. We'll see. I've got these 3 samplers here in my living room, in my dining room, that are the Emmy Bishop, is that right? The Hardanger type work samplers, and I have one more that I need to do. I started each of these 3 when I was pregnant with 3 of my children, and my 4th son, when I was expecting him, there wasn't another sampler, and I thought, oh no, now what am I going to do? Well, before he was born, Emmy came out with the 4th. There's Faith, Hope, and Love here, and then she came out with Charity. So I started the alphabet. I think that I've got the A done before he was born. And he, yeah, he's 26 now. So 23 now. And yeah, it's still just the A. So maybe this year I will get that out and finish his sampler for him. If I don't die from, if I don't catch my death of cold today at this wedding. Let's see, what else have I done? I'm going to show you that on a separate video. I have got more whips than I really even want to know. At one point I had counted them, and there comes my son, so I'll be right back. Okay, I'll have another second, then I'll probably have to pause again. One thing that I was working on this fall, that I started working on, I didn't put much into it, but this was the first time I had tried any of this, and I think I'm gonna like it. I was working on a pattern, excuse me, by Erica Michaels called Always Thankful. And this was a little kit, actually. And I don't know if you can see the sentiment. I love it. But it looks like it would be a good size. But in actuality, it is tiny. Oh, I don't have the frame with me. In actuality, it's only like this big. It's tiny. It is so tiny, but it's so cute because you're stitching on silk gauze. And I have never stitched on silk gauze before. So this is a new thing for me. So I sewed the piece of silk gauze to a piece of muslin so that I could put it in a Q-snap. And I don't know, y'all, it's like stitching on screen. The holes are tiny. I don't know what count it is, but it's tiny. And you stitch over one, so you're just doing a little tent stitch over one. But it's fun, and it's one of those things I kind of have to concentrate a little bit. One thing I did was I did just a running stitch vertically and horizontally so that I could find the center, because I just kept losing my place on these little bitty holes. And so I didn't really want to fold it. It's going to wind up being full coverage, I think. I think all that will be full coverage. But anyway, I got a little bitty start on it, as you can tell. Not much. So I may not work on this for a while. I may not work on it until next fall. I don't know. But that was fun. Silk gauze. If y'all haven't tried it, you might want to try something small like that. And it was a lot of fun. I keep it in my bag that I received from Victoria Martin. Victoria's Crafty Room, Victoria's Creative Crafts. I'm not really sure what she goes by. She's just recently changed her name. I want to say it's Victoria's Crafty Room. But she has an Etsy shop, and she does beautiful work. So y'all go over there and check her out. Put that back in my fall bag. I've got 3 projects that I'm going to focus on just for a yearly project that I'm going to be focusing on to get finished this year. One of them is His Eye is on the Sparrow. As you know, I started that a couple of years ago and really have not gotten very far on it at all, and I just dropped that. Oh well. I'll show you where I am, but it's not very far. That's my meager little start, which is not quite so meager, but I've still got a long ways to go. So I'm going to kind of focus on that off and on this year and try to whip out a good hunk of that this year. Another one that I want to focus on is going to be a gift, so I don't really want to talk about that on here yet, but it's going to be the smaller of the 3 projects that I'm wanting to get done. It'll probably be the smallest. It's kind of a monochromatic piece. So I will show you that when I finish it and get it sent off. I don't want to show it on here before. Excuse me just a second. Okay, the third one that I want to focus on is, I might not have brought this. I've got my working copy. I don't have the original pattern, but I've got the working copy here. It's the Strawberry Sampler by the City Stitcher. And I was doing this as a stitch along with Sharon Worm, and I have not gotten far at all. But I'm going to work on that more this year. So this is my puny little start. I've just got the bottom alphabet done. I don't even think I have the whole alphabet done. Oh yeah, I do. I think I have the whole thing done down there. But I'm going to focus on that. So those are going to be my year-long projects. Another thing that I really want to work on are the Mary Beale Christmas stockings. I have wanted to do those for decades. I mean, literally decades. I think they came out in the 80s, and I loved them then, and I still love them. And there's 10 in the series, and it chronicles the birth of Christ. It has scripture on each stocking, and there are 10 of them. But I never could decide how I wanted to do them. Did I want to start with the first one and it be my husband and then me and then, you know, our children in order? But then I thought, well, if I do that, then as the children get married and we insert the spouse, then it's going to knock the order out of whack. And that was driving me nuts because I can be very laid back and whimsical, and then I can be very, I don't want to say OCD because I'm really not, but anyway, it was driving me nuts. Couldn't decide how I wanted to finish that. So I'm still not really sure how I'm going to do those, but I'm going to start them. I may not put their names on them yet, but I want to get the bulk of the stockings done because, by golly, I want to do them. I had all of the patterns at one point, and then we moved into this house, and all of my cross-stitching stuff was in a box with some other homeschooling things, and I think the homeschooling things were on top. And after a couple of years, we decided to clear out some of those boxes out of the garage, and we looked in and saw there was homeschooling stuff there, and the box got tossed, and it wasn't until it was gone that I realized, I think that's where all of my Mary Beale stocking patterns were. So I have tried to accumulate hard copies of the patterns. I did purchase the downloadable version, but I printed it out, and something got spilled on it. So I went to print it out again. I couldn't print it out anymore. So I want to get the hard copy versions of those, but I don't want to pay an arm and a leg. Some of these are going for just crazy amounts on eBay. So I will eventually get them all collected again. But I started on, the first one I've gotten started on, and it's not in order. I didn't start with number one. This one is, I'm not sure which one this is. This one was in a Just Cross Stitch magazine. And I love all of them. I just love all of them. This is not going to be a very good picture. But, so I've got this much done so far, just the part of the verse at the bottom. And then I realized that I'm off a little bit, so I'm going to have to rip part of this out. I'm going to have to rip out, where is it? I think right in here, I got these words squished too close together. And then once I started on this line, I was lining it up with this word, which is off, so I'm going to have to take this out. But that's not much. So I'm going to rip this out and get going on it. So those are also going to be kind of some focus pieces that I do this year. I really want to work on these Mary Beale stockings. Big time. I want to do those. So those are just some of my plans this year. I don't know. I've started and stopped this thing, so I'm not sure exactly how long this video is. I don't want to make it too long. So I think I'm just going to sign off for now and say thank you for watching me once again. I appreciate it so much. Probably won't be back on here again before Christmas unless it is to, well, I'm going to make that, I'll probably make that other video for the gift that I'm giving away, but I probably won't be back on here until after Christmas. So I hope you all have a wonderful and blessed Christmas. I hope you're able to visit with family and friends and loved ones, and just remember the meaning of the season. And I hope you have a wonderful new year and have lots of wonderful stitchy plans. I'm excited. I actually bought a little planner pack to go in my planner this year. I'm going to try to be a little bit more organized and structured in what I'm doing this year. Hopefully I can see some more things accomplished by doing that. So until I see you again, happy stitching, everybody.